Well, the anthem has officially finished, but much like we saw with Italy yesterday, it was the Colombian players who are keen to go with the second verse. But a big game in prospect here between Türkiye and Colombia, because for the second time today we are going to witness a match between two sides that won their opening matches on day two. Türkiye kept a clean sheet. They put 5 past Ukraine without reply. And as for their opponents, Colombia upset Morocco, winning 4-1.
Upset's the right word, Patrick.
And Morocco with some star players in their ranks. It does mean whoever goes to win this game will go through directly. They'll get a bye to the quarter-finals. Who's your money on, Thomas? Twitch is saying Colombia.
Yeah, and after such an important win, impressive win against Morocco, it's hard to disagree with our supporters and everybody following via Twitch. The people are speaking as we speak, although Turkey just coming forward, and Türkiye, I beg your pardon, the final stages. We see the draw of the Spotify secret card, the secret weapon, which can only come into play in the second period of this match here, as the action is about to begin here between Türkiye and Colombia.
Indeed, we're now down to the final 15 seconds or so before kick-off. A reminder of the results that we've already witnessed so far today. Germany, Brazil ended Germany 2, Brazil 9, and just a few moments ago it ended Peru 4, Korea Republic 3 after that late goal for the Koreans from the rebound on the penalty. So we start, as we always do here in the Kings League, with 1v1 plus goalkeepers for the first 60 seconds. And for every minute that passes after that, another player will be introduced until we reach the 5-minute mark, when Thomas will have the full complement, 7v7.
7v7, nicely done by Swadaku, as we mentioned Colombia's impressive performance. But what about Turkey making light work of Ukraine? Thanks also to this man here who got all the goals. Can he get another one?
Well, he seemed to have space to shoot there. Instead, he just decided to come back, Furkan Ars. Here's Furkan. Oh, was he taken out there? Oh, what a big moment this is. He stayed down, which means we have a one-on-one. This could be huge. Is he round the keeper? He's not. A big opportunity there for Palacios. But are we going to have a look at this VAR? Because, Thomas, remind us, in the first minute of play, what happens? It was Swad Ak, who I know is you're a big fan of.
Massive fan.
What happens in the first 60 seconds if there is a foul? There's not a foul.
It's not a foul, but had it been a foul, it would have been a shootout, because any foul committed in the first minute is a shootout. A penalty shootout, he might get another chance. He may have committed a foul there, he didn't.
Now, can he go up and score? It looks like it, but he rushed it there. What a chance for Swad Ak, who I believe scored, was it 4 goals worth 5 in the
Yes, exactly, because his last goal came in those final 2 minutes of play.
Does that mean none of his teammates pitched in with goals? It was all on him?
It was all on Mr. Swad Ak, who was fabulous.
Less so there in that 1v1 situation.
But did so well to put himself into that shooting position, perhaps just snapped at it, and there could be an issue here, an injury issue here early on for Colombia. Well, what a fast-paced start, frantic stuff, as we see the Turkey presidents watching on from afar. Colombia, meanwhile, they are here. Patrick, we caught a glimpse of them earlier, just to our left, actually, if I'm not mistaken.
You can't miss them.
That lovely yellow jersey. Is it the Cafeteros, one of their many nicknames? As we catch glimpse of some Colombia fans in the stands as well, watching on. So it appears to be all okay for Mr. Palacios.
And now it's 2v2. We've got another Guti. Guti playing for Colombia. Guti, I presume, is a pretty common nickname for those who have Gutierrez as their surname. We saw a hat-trick from Guti yesterday in Spain, not to be confused with the former Real Madrid midfielder who was the main man when it came to creative assists. I remember a backheeled assist from him at one stage for Real Madrid. But we are having a break in play here because, not for the treatment, which has now come to a close, but because the officials are trying to get the right camera angles to see whether there should be a VAR check in progress.
Yep, clock has been stopped as the Colombia presence enjoy this. A little, what's it, glass of bubbly? I'm not too sure as well. So the VR coming in, Patrick.
In progress.
We'll now get a steer on what exactly it is they're looking at.
Checking in progress.
Sí. Okay.
Check
We've had lots of
complete.
VAR checks
damp
today, Thomas, but none of them have really materialised into anything particularly significant. Colombia now with the rush goalkeeper trying to create an overload here, try and catch out the Turks. Whether they can is another matter. It's fairly slow ball here. Guti had the
on the
goalkeeper
keeper.
away to his right. A reminder of the rules as well, Thomas, with that offside line. That's why they're not going any further. But here is the keeper, and it's off target in the end from the keeper, which is Camilo Mena. Juan Camilo.
Yeah. Voted man of the match, by the way, against Morocco. Last gasp penalty save on Nader, the Corona d'Oro.
Absolutely, the Golden Crown winner, which is the most highly decorated individual award in our sport, Kings League. Lovely work there from Swad. Great goalkeeper. You can see why he was voted man of the match, Camilo Mena, as we are now about to see a third outfield player join the Turkish and Colombian ranks. And that was pretty good timing because he was able to intercept the ball forward.
Smart stuff indeed. We're now 4v4-3. Outfield players, of course, the keepers now after that first minute can come out their box, which is what we saw Camilo at the other end have a go. Maybe caught into action now at the other end.
We're still waiting for our first goal here. We won't get it there either. The Colombian number 10 keeping it in play. He'll be inspired, I'm sure, by that message from James Rodriguez in the lead up to this match.
Yeah, what
Colombian
a player.
number 10 is Angelot Caro.
What an important jersey, prestigious jersey, as he sprays it out wide, Patrick.
The angle's against him here, good defending. Didn't quite keep it in play. It will be a corner. The ball had strayed beyond the byline, but 3 minutes without too much in the way of goal-mouth action. We did have those two appeals for a foul in the opening 60 seconds. I do wonder, Thomas, whether the players are just unconsciously influenced by the fact that they know if they can draw a foul off the opponent in the first minute, then they would see that sin bin, and that could be really costly. And it might just mean that they're more likely to try and accentuate contact. But here's a shooting chance potentially for Colombia. They do strike it goalwards, but a fairly tame effort in the end from Palacios.
Very nearly caught in possession,
And he's now
Patrick.
been caught in possession. Round the keeper he goes. Still Swadak. Well in there by Guti, who's lost out to Swad.
Yeah, we're going back to what you're saying. Sometimes teams do adopt that strategy, trying to actually draw in and win a foul inside that first minute and get a penalty shootout.
Nearly broke the way of Swad again there. Angelot needs to be careful here. It's done well as another teammate prepares to join him, but Colombia careless in possession once more.
And Spain, no doubt, keeping a close eye on this match. Spain to meet the loser of this match, Türkiye or Colombia, to face Spain in the last chance.
And we heard from James Rodriguez about people watching back home and how these are the pride and joy of the Colombian people. I'm sure there'll be lots of fans watching, not only from the Colombian diaspora all over the world, but also from the big cities of Bogota and Medellin as well.
Nicely
Nice
done.
work there. Good challenge as well, though, coming in from Palacios. Attentive defending. We are still waiting for our first goal. It's pretty reminiscent, this, of Peru against Korea Republic, the match we
Yeah,
just saw.
it was a
which
slow burner,
no
wasn't
scoring,
it?
Yeah.
It was a slow burner, but certainly came into life with a wonder goal, by the way. Will we have another wonder goal shortly?
We tried to score straight from the corner there.
Struck it well.
Pretty short shrift, though, from Camilo Mena, the goalkeeper, just punching it straight into touch. Thomas, 5 minutes have gone by. That does mean it's now 7v7, so 6 outfield
7v7.
players plus 2 keepers.
Yeah, and now it's more like, you could say, traditional football.
A
As
long
the
throw
runs in.
came in. Who's there? The defender doing a pretty good job to keep it quiet as well. Denilson Lobon.
Yeah. Now, obviously, a lot less space to be able to exploit it. We might expect it the pace to drop off slightly, be a bit more tactical. Two teams sizing each other up, no goals either, so neither team want to take too many risks and put themselves into a tricky position. We can have a precedent penalty in the first half.
We could, but that's not really been in keeping with what we've seen in this tournament so far. They've tended to keep their powder dry and just keep that card in store for the second period of 20 minutes. a reminder, each team is allowed one presidential penalty. If they take it with their president, they get it from 12 yards. If they delegate it to a player, it has to be a shootout. A shootout is basically what you're used to seeing in ice hockey, or maybe if you're a fan of Major League Soccer from the early days. But then again, there was no time limit on that. They just used to run from the halfway line. Admitting their football pitch is bigger than a Kings League surface. Here, though, they only have 5 seconds to get the shot away, so it means that very rarely does a player have the chance to dribble around the keeper. They almost have to shoot from the edge of the box.
Yeah, and for Turkey, it would be a shootout there. Presidents watching on from afar. For Colombia, it would be Peli Kanger to take it for them at some stage. You expect it to be, as you said, perhaps more the second half to keep in trend with what we've seen.
Ancelot winning it back, poking it through. Brilliant goalkeeping. Otherwise, Colombia would have had the lead. Here's Ancelot again. But that's a fabulous bit of work there from the Turkish keeper, because otherwise Colombia would have been celebrating the first goal of this match. Alejandro Ortega going very close indeed.
Very close indeed. One of the best chances we've seen so far. Colombia starting to take a little bit of control and really settle into this match. We talked about the iconic jersey. Another Colombia one is another one. I love those red socks as well. A bit like Mexico, if I'm not mistaken.
If anyone is listening that does have access to Stash, there's Ortega trying his luck again. Thomas Lawrence would love to get his hands on one of the Kings World Cup Nations jersey. Pretty hard, I would think. I'm sure those players want to keep hold of them as mementos.
Of course.
Personally, Mexico is the one that I'm really looking forward to getting my hands on.
As long as I get to meet Obed Martinez, you know me, I'm happy, Patrick, my main man, the Mexico striker.
Obed Martinez is to you what Domenico Mimmo Berardi is to me.
Is to you, yeah, one of your favourite players.
Now, can Türkiye score? The team in red...
Berardi, by the way, would be a great player in Kings League. Sorry to interrupt you, Patrick. He would be fabulous in this competition.
You're absolutely right, because we mentioned the sort of profile that Italy need earlier. That's a foul on Danielson. Is that going to be a yellow card? It was high, from behind on the knee. Now, that might have been deserving of a sin bin, a yellow card and a 2-minute suspension there. But yeah, just coming back to what we're saying about what Italy are maybe missing. This is the challenge, Thomas. What do you think?
Yeah, I think the cards are going to stay in the pocket. We haven't actually seen cards brandished today, unlike yesterday, where they did come out on a couple of occasions. In fact, even a red card in the Spain-Italy in De La Mata. So he'll be out of Spain's next game, which will be against one of these two sides. Again, allowing the play to go on and trying to keep the cards in the pocket. I think that's the sort of the idea.
Well, Colombia have a free kick here, and it's struck well over the top. He went for power there, Alexander Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Personally, I've just been given a lift. I'm supping a can of Red Bull, one of our partners here at Kings World Cup Nations. It's not only given me a lift in terms of a bit more energy, but it's absolutely delicious. It's been years since I had a Red Bull, Thomas. I think
Why
I'm a
has
bit
it
worried.
been years? You should be.
I'm a bit worried. I'm going to be drinking 2 or 3 cans per broadcast. Shout out to Jimena as well for delivering the goods just a few short minutes ago.
Muchas gracias to the Super Jimenez, and of course Astrid and everybody else behind the scenes that does a great job here for the Kings League and the Kings World Cup Nations, which is our main event. But go back to what you're saying, I think someone like Berardi would have been the difference maker. Yes, they needed that kind of player, the Azzurri, who went out after losing to Spain, a thrilling game. You can still check out the highlights on YouTube, by the way, or watch back the full game as well.
Yeah.
Watch the full game.
And you've got the option as well, if you want to watch just the highlights with only crowd noise, no commentary, there is that option available. If you want to hear us talking over it, potentially adding value every now and then you can go to the full broadcast, which is basically 5 hours, Thomas, from when we get started half an hour before the first game, right up until 4 matches back-to-back, which are basically an hour each. Here go Türkiye. Still no goal here in this 3rd match of the day.
Or if you want, you can just watch the full game and just put it on mute and turn off our voices. Anything, as long as you watch the Kings League, that's all that we care about. No, I would not be offended, far from it.
I do wonder what people are going to get up to tomorrow, because tomorrow's a rest day, not for us so much as for the players themselves. It is a Sunday, and we are therefore not going to be in action. It'll all resume again on Monday. Still here at Wismar for the next few days until the final, which, lest we forget, Allianz Stadium. Sunday, the 12th of January. We've not only got the match, we've got the Legends game as well. Casillas, Buffon, Pirlo, and indeed Kun Agüero, who might also line up for Argentina safely through after 2 wins from 2, the Albiceleste. And we've also got a performance from Mahmoud as well. So
Yes.
much to look forward to
Massive
at the
fan of
home of
Mahmoud.
Juventus FC. Türkiye looking a little bit nervous about how this game has panned out so far, because 11 minutes have gone by, not too many saves, no sign of a presidential penalty, but they've stolen the ball high up the pitch here, and he's very quick and very direct, Swat. You can see why he scored 4 goals in Turkey's opening 5-0 win.
Yeah, and this is a really even and close-fought match. Turkey getting the better of Ukraine, as you said. Colombia, really impressive performance against Morocco. So as we expected, we knew it would be tight. Might just need something special to break the deadlock, maybe from this man here on this near side.
And to think, though, our opening match, which was between two teams that won on day 2, namely Germany and Brazil, was so one-sided. Brazil winning 9-2 by a 7-goal margin, more than avenging that 7-1 loss for the senior national team in the 11-a-side game at the 2014 World Cup, which was heavily referenced in the lead-up to the match. It's particularly with Gaulis, when he had that lovely little sketch, shall we say, with the fortune teller and the Neapolitan playing cards as well, which I enjoyed. My other half
Yes.
is from the great city of Naples. If you've never been
Massive
there,
shout out
see
to Napoli.
Naples and die.
Absolutely. You will be flabbergasted and left speechless by its beauty. Will this be
Ancelotti.
beautiful?
Oh, that was
Very
a
nearly
painful
was.
one. But here go Türkiye. Good defending from Denilson. I'm a fan of his. And he's also got a little bit of back chat as well. We saw him taking Swat to task a few moments ago. Massive height difference between the pair. Headed behind there. Could have easily headed it out into touch for a throw-in. But rather curiously, that was Julio Pereira sending it behind for a corner. Not that Turkey have necessarily taken it conventionally. Comfortable save again. You need more than that if you're to get the better of Camilo Mena, the Colombian keeper.
Absolutely, as we said, he's been decisive so far at both ends of the pitch, trying to play his part now, and obviously his conventional goalkeeper role could be involved heavily when we go to the roll of the dice at half-time, which could which certainly will shake things up as it comes across on the volley.
I know you love a volley, Tolo.
Oh yes, and I love to say on the volley
You
when
got
it
very
comes.
excited there
Yes.
as well. You do like your prepositions off the bench and on the score
score
sheet,
sheet.
on the volley, on the rebounds.
Instant impact for
It's-
and a full impact.
Yeah, we
perhaps.
haven't seen any full impact in this match thus far. I tell you what I do love, though. Down away to our left, Colombian streamer. She's got a Colombian flag draped around her shoulders. Now getting a tap on the back as well. Presumably that was her cue to speak from, there's 4 of them on the mic as well. How we could do with a couple more voices. Give you a bit of a rest. 4th day running for
I think that's
Tolo.
perhaps what the fans want
Shout
as well.
out. Oh, it's straight at the keeper. It does go down as a shot on target from the number 80, Alexander Rodriguez, albeit they've not really been finding the corners.
No, you mentioned about the sort of having a day off and resting. Obviously, these teams will want to win, so they have an extra opportunity to rest and go straight through, Patrick, to the quarterfinal stage, just like Argentina. We saw it, just like Brazil as well. Otherwise, they go through if they lose to a last chance against Spain.
Indeed, we saw 2 teams go home yesterday, Italy and Saudi Arabia. We've already seen 1 team bow out of the competition on this day 4 as well. That was the Korea Republic. And it will also, unfortunately, be the case for 2 of our teams going later on in the final game of the day. Ukraine, Morocco, both beaten first time out. It would be a massive shock if Morocco, with their 2 big stars, were to go home at the first time of asking. The pressure will be on them to beat Ukraine, but this is a Ukraine side, Thomas, that is still waiting for their first goal of the tournament, lest we forget.
Exactly, Turkey keeping a clean sheet, the only one so far really impressive from them, and we're seeing signs of that, but can they keep this one out here? They can.
In fact, Colombia haven't looked like scoring at all, and again, that defensive effort from Türkiye is proving vital. Haven't really looked like conceding at all. Any shots that have come in have been straight at the goalkeeper, and he's a big boy too.
Absolutely, and now we can just take a little break and just enjoy the spectacle in front of him as his teammates pass it around, just try and find an opening here.
Well, you know, it's not necessarily been end-to-end stuff when we tend to digress and talk about other stuff. So we've spoken about cuisine. I want to talk about tourism. Have you been to the great country of Turkey? I can't say I've ever been to Colombia, but I have got to Turkey, as it was then known. Went to Bodrum. What about yourself?
You know, our fans at home are going to think, you know, that I'm quite a dull person and not very cultured because my language skills are appalling and my travelling has been almost non-existent. So no, I've not been to either of these nations either. As the ball comes towards us, that's why I was getting a little bit scared, a little bit excited. Here's the ball flashed across, Patrick. You're ready to catch it with your hands. I was trying to duck down.
I was ready, and also there's two possible techniques there when it comes to claiming a ball above your head as a goalkeeper. You can either do the W, where your two thumbs come together, or you can do the diamond, which is another possible option. I went with the diamond there. I wasn't required. The goalkeeper is required here just to prevent a corner. It's a fairly easy stop for him to make in the end. That is Oktay Kazan, who's playing in goal for Turkey from the looks of things at the moment. But yeah, Bodrum, it was great. Sampled all of their cuisine. They're known for apple tea as well, which is very sweet, on a similar sweetness level to Red Bull, dare I say it. But I tell you what, I wouldn't want to have apple tea laced with Red Bull. I think that would keep you up all night.
That would just take you over the edge.
Now the drums are out. Is that the Moroccans in the house?
They're warming up for the next match, Patrick.
They are.
And they're also at the other end of the ground as well.
Here come Türkiye, losing out, and again. Someone needs to get a shot away here. Instead, it's a lovely switch of play. I tell you what, from a distance, the Turkish number 17, which is Abdullah Telli, it looks almost a little bit like Trent Alexander-Arnold.
And Mr. Trent Alexander-Arnold is bombing up the pitch, and he's putting himself into a pocket of space, but he's not been spotted by his teammates as we go towards that 18-minute mark. And this is the beauty of the Kings League, Patrick. You might think goalless, dull, but we're going to have a shake-up here with the roll of the dice. Can it be a shake-up here? It's not a shake-up here.
That had you off your feet. You were jumping up and down there in anticipation at the first goal going in. It was off target in the end, but worth a go there. You could see what was in his mind there, Ayturk Cesim. But it does mean that, rather disappointingly, come the 18-minute mark, it is still goalless here, but who's ready with the Red Bull dice?
It's Sergio Cruz, one of the Italian presidents, for this energy break, energized by Red Bull. Let's see what happens here with the Red Bull roll of the dice. Red Bull is actually an option that can come out, Patrick, on the roll of the dice. Let's see. So it's three. It's a 3v3.
So 2v2 outfilders plus goalkeeper.
Correct, Patrick. Correct. This will open up the space, that's for sure. That's what we do now. That's what we can guarantee. Can we guarantee goals? We cannot promise, but we can hope.
And what this means is we are basically going back to the scenario that we witnessed between the 61st and the 120th seconds of this match, because we start, lest we forget, with a 1v1 plus goalkeepers. Now we're going to have a 2v2 plus keepers, which is what happens after the first 60 seconds of a conventional match in the Kings League goes by. So they've gone with Danielson as one of their players, Colombia. They're keeping faith, of course, with Camilo Mena, the goalkeeper. And as we tick down, the red lights come off before they all are extinguished. Final 2 minutes of the first half, plus added time. Who, if anyone, is going to get on the board? Colombia first to the loose ball. Danielson's not very quick, though. That's why he had to stretch with that telescopic limb of his.
But full marks to Colombia getting there and reminding the ball then has to go backwards as well. That adds an extra element as well, and strategy on the kickoff from the drop ball. And they made a change. This is interesting from Turkey.
Yes.
No keeper.
Türkiye going without the goalkeeper. Now, they can't go beyond that offside line, and they haven't done here. Slotted in at the near post by Cesim.
And the strategy pays off. What a move. And it's sealed with a kiss as well by the men in red. It was a smart move, and now the keeper does come back on. Patrick, obviously, now that we're out the ball, and he might be caught in dashing right away, but no, there's a little break in play. Hang on here.
Well,
are we going to have a VAR decision?
Was he in offside position? That might be the only question, I would suggest. Was he the wrong side of the offside line, or indeed the last defender? But I think the goal has been awarded, indeed. The VAR check is at an end. And it does mean that Colombia concede. Turkey still yet to concede in the competition.
Unbelievable, isn't
Coming
it?
up to 3 halves worth of Kings League here. 40 minutes, they kept Ukraine quiet. They're playing another team in yellow in the shape of Colombia. And Colombia just can't get on the board. Türkiye 1 goal to the good. But Colombia with the trickery, and that's why Türkiye just don't concede easily. Oktay Kazan with the save.
Oh, fabulous save. And Türkiye have had a strong tradition of goalkeeping greats, as they might be tested again here.
Rüştü Rekber.
He comes to mind, yeah. 2002 World Cup, really impressive. And Colombia have also now smartly taken off the kick. When they're in possession, you can do that to the beauty of the rolling off and unlimited substitutions. Can they get an equaliser into added time?
Just a minute of which there will be. Colombia nearly lost possession. They almost gave it away again. They have now run it into touch. That's a bit of a mistake there from Ancelotti,
Keeper's
number
going to try
10.
and come back on quickly. He's got to be quick.
On. Now, why didn't they take that throw in quickly and just try and lash it in? Clearly, they want the half-time advantage. They're now going to really take their time with that. Let's not try a low percentage shot to go 2-0 up. We're going to take our 1-0 lead in at the break, and we're going to try and win the second half as well. Or could they score a second here? It nearly ran loose. Collected by Swat. We've played the minute of added time, almost, still 20 seconds to go. Why didn't he shoot there?
No
This
idea.
might be why. Swat, they've got the overload. Good goalkeeping from Camilo Mena.
Classy Camilo. His cat-like reflexes from Camilo. Camilo the cat could be a good nickname for him. He may be caught into action again here.
Swat! Oh! He swatted it goalwards there. What a try that was.
And it was swatted away.
It was, and it does mean that is now Türkiye 1, Colombia 0 at the interval. We'll leave you to hear the thoughts of the two camps at the break.
Ja. Eine Kinderbackstoß. Intentions. 6 gegen 6, 6 gegen 6. Eine Kalios, ne? Geht noch von der Luft. Ansonsten lass erst abgeschwemmt. Willst du draußen bleiben? Geh hinten rein. Okay. Genau. Geh hinten rein oder nicht? Ja, doch. Du kommst mit Memo-Stand. Ja, hazırlık. Gençler bir dakika rahat sakin. Topu.
Y por izquierda que vaya Ángelo. Vamos con toda, vamos a ir a buscarlo arriba, vamos a crecer pero ir a buscarlo arriba. Muchachos, tranquilos que nosotros sabemos cómo jugarlo esto. Pero la intensidad es la que nos está faltando. Nos están superando en eso. Vamos a pegarle más al arco, vamos a pegarle, dale. Dale, somos superiores, pero vamos a demostrar.
Tricky actually managed to listen in because of the deafening noise, thanks to the Moroccan supporters who are warming up ahead of their team's match, which is the next one. But we've still got this one, which is delicately poised with Türkiye ahead, but just by the 1 goal, despite coming really close. Some really good opportunities from distance, but kept out by Super Camilo.
Yes, Türkiye, though, have the best defence in the competition so far. Clean sheet in the first game against Ukraine. They shut out the Colombians in the opening 20 minutes here. Jason with the only goal, which came in that power play period when it was 3v3, 2 outfield players plus the goalkeepers. The ball descends now from 5 metres high out of that McDonald-branded box, and immediately Colombia have the possession. The onus is on them, but they give the ball away, and the shot went narrowly wide. Well worth a go there. It broke kindly to Abdullah Telly.
Yeah, really could have been 2, and what a start that would have been to the second period. Colombia, though, really good when it comes to getting the ball from those kick-offs, those start-offs. The ball dropping, exploiting their... Yeah, no, really struggling to hear it myself as well because of the noise from the Moroccan supporters. They're also outside the Bismata as well, Patrick, those that couldn't get tickets.
Julius with the cross, excellent hands again there. He's had a terrific game so far. Oktay Kazan wearing 55 in the Türkiye goal. But it's not just the noise of the Moroccans that we can hear. We need to also recap what the possible scenarios are that can play out in the second half. A reminder, presidential penalties are part and parcel of this game. Neither has been used so far. Thomas will tell you in due course which penalty decisions will be taken, or whether it's a shootout, with the Colombian and Türkiye presidents as well. And we not only have that, we have the secret cards as well, which were drawn at random pre-match. We'll get an insight into what's going through the coaches' minds. But Colombia had a shooting opportunity here. It didn't make it through, though, because of a fine piece of work from Onur Shaglam.
Yeah, you talk about the presidents. One of the Colombian presidents, Juan Guarnizo, is actually a president in Kings League Spain, as his team tries to leap up there and get a goal back. As for the Colombia coach, El Pibe, also coaches a team in the Kings League Spain, so lots of experience in the nation where it all started.
Yes, and he'll need all of his knowledge and nous now to try and inspire Colombia back into this game. They only trail by one. That Türkiye goal scored late on in the first half, during the 2 minutes when, after we roll the dice, we do decide how many players will be on the pitch. 3 came up on our Red Bull dice, and that's why it was 2 outfield players plus keepers, and it was Türkiye who made better use of the small-sided game in terms of numbers of players on the pitch. The pitch itself remains the same. The players, though, can vary, as we've seen. It's a big dimension of Kings League.
Yeah, and if you need a motivational playlist for the new year, go check out the Kings World Cup Nations playlist made by your favourite players and streamers. So once again, thank you very much to one of our sponsors, Spotify, sponsors also of our secret cards.
They are indeed, and we hope to see those secret cards played sooner or later. And the onus really is on Colombia. Unless they can equalise here in open play, they can't. And Türkiye might be able to drive forward at pace. But instead, this is what has made them such formidable opponents, because they're very good at just keeping the ball, defending, and not giving much away. That's part of Kings League as well. It's not all out attack, not just gung-ho Gasparini here.
Absolutely
And
not.
It was created by defender Gerard Piqué.
But who did come through, though, Barcelona, which is renowned for its attacking brand of football, keeping possession and taking the initiative. Can Colombia do that here? Blocked.
They'll try again. It's another block. It was spin into touch. A couple of occasions when they got the shot away.
I don't know if you knew, Patrick, mentioned again the Colombia presence, but there's a bit of bad blood between the two presents.
We don't like
West
that.
Col and Guardians, but they came together for this tournament.
That's going to be a yellow card, and that's going to be a 2-minute sin bin. Surely, I'd be amazed if it isn't, and it isn't. Every time I call for a card, you can see I'm too used to Serie A, the top flight of Italian football in the professional game, because that in a transition, a tactical foul like that would have been an automatic caution, but perhaps it's because this is actually a sin bin, so it carries greater weight than an ordinary yellow card, which might be why the officials thought, you know what, I'm not going to deprive you of a player there, Colombia. On you go, 7v7. They have lost the ball, though.
Yeah, in the interest of just keeping it alive. And then that's comes to nothing, unfortunately, for Türkiye. Now Colombia again. This is nice, really promising, Patrick.
Building out from the back. Julius had continued his progress, but he wasn't found there. Julius Pereira. And how about that goalkeeping?
Again, it's Mr. Camilo, big fan. He has to be, so far, in my team of the tournament, Mr. Camilo.
Camilo Mena with the save low down to his right there. He wasn't required here, but Türkiye kept it in play with that man again, Swat, a scorer of 4 goals in the opening match. Swat driving inside, and it's straight at Camilo Mena, who's looking to take his personal tally to 5 for the competition to increase Türkiye's lead to 2-0 against Colombia.
Yeah, as he looks to sort of also lay down the gauntlet with Kelvin Oliveira in the race to be the top scorer in the Kings World Cup Nations, the inaugural Kings World Cup Nations. Even more motivation to try and win it.
That's a clever ball through. Danielson's touch was heavy. Still breaks the way of a player in yellow. Here's Danielson again. He's got a teammate away to his right. Will the cross come in? It doesn't. They don't want to switch it. And Türkiye get the toe poke clear. They're so good defensively, the team in red. And it would be an astonishing circumstance if they could go back-to-back games with clean sheets, especially with all the rules that have been invented to try and foster attacking play and to try and incentivize goal scoring. That's a good try, but it's over the top. Julio Pereira unhappy with himself first and foremost.
Yeah, you can see the disappointment there after that strike, but the Colombia presence and streamers watching on, they remain optimistic, and of course, every reason to be optimistic. Still got that president penalty and the secret card, and they're only trailing by 1 goal.
But here go Türkiye. Now, if you're Türkiye, do you try and play that precedent penalty first so you get the psychological edge, Thomas, of taking a 2-goal lead in what's been a very tight, cagey match?
Yeah, I think that would be really smart, really clever. Just take the game a little bit away from your opponents, unless you just try and take a risk and weather that storm and see if you can hang on.
Oh, this is enterprising play. He's gone all the way through. And is there a finish? It's off the foot of the post. So unlucky there from Berk Kiratli, after the excellent work from his teammate in the build-up play. And they will score here, surely. No!
He can't believe it.
Mena is a fabulous goalkeeper, and he's just shown again why, keeping out Abdullah Telli. Türkiye going twice, very close, and they'll try again here. This time it's blocked. Well, astonishing how good the Colombian goalkeeper is playing, how well he is playing, because it's been the standout display of anyone on the pitch. An early shout out for him for MVP potentially.
Oh yeah, and it would be twice in succession should he do that. Talking of the number 2, is this going to be goal number 2 for Türkiye?
They start again with the skipper. Well, they could easily be out of sight to
Yeah.
but for the Colombian keeper, Camilo Mena. I mean, if he hasn't played professionally, he should be, if you ask me. It's a very similar style of play.
One of our other streamers, one of the other nations, appears to have a glass of bubbly.
Drinking on the job, why not? Why not? Here's Danielson. Well, that's nicely done. The angle's against him, hence why he darts back inside. Just can't find that killer pass, Colombia, because the Turks are just so resolute, so organised at the back. Now the Moroccans making noise with that Icelandic
I was going to
clap.
say, that reminds me of Iceland. It is from Euro 2016 when they knocked out England.
They knocked out England around the 16 at the European Championship. Roy Hodgson's last game in charge. Clever ball in, Danielson! Denied. Pretty easy save in the end. It was straight at him, but credit to Oktay Kazan. Otherwise, Colombia were level.
Point blank range there.
Oktay goes long again. Steady here, Danielson, his goalkeeper clings on. He was caught heavily, but he's not made a meal of it. Credit to, I'm increasingly more and more of a fan of this goalkeeper, Camilo Mena.
I told you, Patrick, I would never lie to you. I'd always be honest.
That's a good try. Well worth the go as well, and he was not a million miles away. Alejandro Ortega.
But that is an interesting debate, Patrick, as we see Turkey try once again to get another goal. Who so far, in your opinion, who could be an early candidate for the team of the tournament? I know it's early days, but we've seen already some star turns. Kelvin Oliveira, Camillo
Kelvin's
here.
got to be there. I know you want Obed Martinez
I want him
in there
100%.
as well.
I'll do anything to have him in the team. I'll meet him and shake his hand and say hello, Mr. Or how would you say it? Hola, I think you'd say.
Worth a go there, easy again. I mean, the thing is, I would say Camilo Mena has certainly outperformed Oktay Kazan, but, you know, what do you want from a goalkeeper? Surely you want a goalkeeper who's a spectator. It means you're defending well in front of him, and that's what Türkiye have done. Colombia have required their goalkeeper much more than they would have necessarily liked, and they still conceded as well. A goal from Jechim earlier on. But here go Colombia. All of a sudden they've got the momentum despite not having the equaliser. Can they find the leveller here? They can't.
Not on that
It's
occasion.
another good bit of defending from Berk Kiratli making the block.
And now this is what we're talking about. Türkiye are playing their president penalty,
About time
Patrick,
too,
and
because
I think it's very smart, very
We're
smart.
almost at the 30-minute mark, and
Yep.
Colombia have gone 30 minutes without scoring. Add that to the 40-plus minutes of Ukraine not finding the net against Türkiye.
And obviously, Türkiye don't have their president here, Patrick. So it'll be a shootout, and they'll designate a player to take it. Is it their skipper? Can you confirm, Patrick?
It is indeed. It is the man wearing the armband. So I'm going to see Memos Sozer, who's going to have 5 seconds as and when the buzzer sounds to try and dash up and beat the very difficult figure to get past, Camilo Mena. Here we go then, Sozer. Opens up the angle and sticks it into the top corner. Well, you knew it would take something special to beat Camilo Mena. We've just witnessed it there from the Turkish skipper. Memos Sezer makes it a 2-goal lead for the Turks.
He is captain. Fantastic. A 2-goal cushion. They still have their secret card as well. There's 10 minutes to go. They're on course, and again, also on course for a clean sheet, which would be incredible in this game where it's all built towards attack.
If you're Colombia, do you try and hit back immediately, get that presidential penalty? There would be pressure on it as well, wouldn't there? I think Turkey are unhappy there because Swat had gone to retrieve the loose ball. Well, there's a player down bleeding, has been caught by Danielson. They're now going to ask for VAR to see whether there was an elbow and whether this might be a red card. If it were, and the Colombian streamer is a little bit shocked. She's clearly quite squeamish. She's seen the blood there. It might now kick off a potential brawl here. And this shows just what Kings World Cup Nation is all about. It is competitive. This is the Turkish reaction, meantime, to their player having that claret coming out from his forehead. But he can say, calma, calma, the Turkish equivalent. Calm it down. But a reminder, Thomas, a red card, if it were violent conduct, would not only mean a 5-minute sin bin, which is huge, given that they trail by 2-0 Colombia, but also that player would play no further part today, and then they would be suspended.
So the next match would be
potentially
potentially against Spain. But this,
stage for Colombia.
but at this stage, it looks like Turkey are going through. It'd have to wait 5 minutes before you could also bring another player on as well, which you can do that, but for those 5 minutes, you are a man down, a player light, a player short, as the Italians would say, in 6 or with 6 players. As we just try and listen in here and perhaps see what's going on. This is why the player's been stopped.
I prefer
What do you think, Patrick?
your behavior. Perfect. Sí.
Well, that was Danielson there, the defender who was just sort of intimating with his... Danielson Lobon, incidentally. Just intimating with his teammate there that his arm actually made the opposite gesture. It's almost like an embrace as opposed to an elbow. But we're listening to the officials now.
Checking in progress.
VAR check in progress. Danielson Lobon, incidentally, has gone and sat on the bench. I don't know whether he expects to be sent off. He will know whether he meant this. He's the only one who does.
Así no alegar con todos los jugadores.
Bueno, no te preocupes.
Estás calmado.
Sí, pero como he tomado la decisión, no te preocupes, ¿vale? Wait. Falta de aquí, he pitado. Falta de aquí, tranquilo. Venga.
¿No dices que no hice nada?
No, que no hice nada para roja ni para amarilla, para mí. Para mí falta y ya está.
In progress.
Edgar, check
That
complete or
view
no?
is quite inconclusive. We need a tighter camera angle to really see the contact up close.
Check complete? Okay, hold. Okay.
So it's just a free kick, no malice there from Danielson Lobon. It's not any card, be it a yellow or a red. The VAR check is complete, but it could only have been a red with a VAR check. It's the same protocol as in the 11-a-side game. Türkiye yet to concede. 2 goals up, but they've lost the ball here, and a shooting chance potentially, but Alexander didn't do the best work. That's a nice elastico, though. Clever ball as well, right down below our position here. Türkiye charging forward, looking for a third meantime.
They're looking good for it, Patrick. They certainly are. That's the commentator's curse, isn't it? Singing their praises and then...
Oh, a reaction there. He was fouled, but there was no need to lash out there. He just kicked towards the Türkiye player without actually doing so. But here's a chance. Great goalkeeping again. He was brave from Oktay Kazan. They're diving at the feet of his opponent. And try as they might, Colombia can't score, Thomas. And surely they have to play either the secret card or the presidential penalty soon. Very soon indeed, because the 38-minute mark is when everything changes, and you can't play the secret card then, can you?
And that's why you have to be smart and think about when you're going to play your cards, how you want to. You've got to play your cards right. Excuse the terrible pun there, another dad joke, and you can slate me on Twitch for it. I apologise in advance.
I am keeping a tally of how many are doing. Trinker a can of Red Bull for every time Thomas Lawrence comes up with a dad joke. You'd certainly have wings there. Full set.
Give him a sip. Just a little sip. Let's go for a sip.
We sip. We dran of Red Bull.
Absolutely.
Shout out to our Scottish friends watching. I'm sure there are many. They are known as big fans. Love the Kings League in Scotland, north of the border. Oh, the long throw. I just wonder whether it's...
on the edge of the box, player down.
It's Alexander again, who's Alexander Rodriguez, wearing 80, who's had plenty to say for himself. Don't know whether he's just said too much to someone, but he was actually the one who was called to task by the taken to task by the referee earlier on during the VAR check, and he said, "¿Qué pasa?" He was like, "What's going on? Talk to me."
Pero aunque estemos mucho tiempo parado, el tiempo está parado. Porque hay que revisar jugadas, se ha hecho daño tu jugador, puedo revisar una roja.
You have to say that often these Spanish-speaking nations are slightly
Alexander se ha hecho daño aquí.
aided, shall we say, linguistically by the fact that typically our officials are Spanish mother tongues, but you know, that's all part of it.
They do speak very good English as well, though, Patrick.
They do, and we have lots of Spanish-speaking nations as part of the Kings League. We've seen Argentina, we've seen Peru, Colombia.
The Americas, yeah, Kings League Americas, absolutely. And of course, Spain, let's see what's going to happen. Is he in contact with the VAR?
Okay.
Looks like we're going to play on with a throw-in, yeah. So again, a bit of a damp squib again on that occasion.
It's going to be a massive psychological edge. Thomas, do we know who Türkiye would play in the quarter-finals if they were to come out on the winning side here? We know who Colombia might play if they were to lose this game. They'd be in the last chance because they won their first game, lest we forget Türkiye.
Yeah.
That is, they beat Ukraine by, Colombia, they beat Morocco by 4-1. But if Türkiye were to win, who would they play?
Yeah, but the draw hasn't actually been made yet for the final 8. Patrick would know, though, however, the loser of this game will take on Spain. That we do know.
So, yes, the last chance! They might not need the last chance because that was one of the best goals we've seen. Alejandro Ortega with a golazo!
And Colombia won't be thinking about Spain right now. They'll be thinking about making it back-to-back wins and marching on straight on to the final 8, Patrick. Far from it. And for the first time in this competition, Turkey have conceded.
And they have, and what a goal it was for them to concede for the first time. Alejandro Ortega wearing 11, also wearing that nickname on the back of his shirt, Maro. And rather than Maro, I would say Maro. My word, what a goal.
Loving a bit of the Milanese and the Italian.
More
Neapolitan than is it? Brought in as the secret card has been played here.
And
by
now
Türkiye.
they've got a penno.
And a joker card as well.
Got a penno. The Colombians to make it 2-all.
Yep. So the Colombians have their joker card. They've played it. How things can change.
And it looks like my boy Danielson Lobot. Big chance here to score twice in quick succession. They do so. The bad boy of the Colombian ranks, Danielson Lobon, has made it 2 apiece, and Turkey have gone from conceding none in the best part of 2 games worth of the Kings League. More than an hour of play all told. They've now conceded 2 in as many minutes. It's 2 each.
And this is why it is so exciting, the Kings League, why it really is. You have to expect the unexpected in the Kings League. Just when you think you're talking about Turkey marching on, Colombia potentially going out and taking on Spain in the next match, look what happens. It just shows that right until the very end, it is always hanging in the balance.
Yes, Türkiye's secret card is 4 minutes of double goals. So if Türkiye were to score, then they would go 4-2 up. We've seen Colombia, they played the joker, I believe, Thomas, which was the penalty.
They chose the penalty.
Which they've taken. But they haven't yet had the presidential penalty. As I say that, Colombia looking to make it 3 straight scores. And what a turnaround in momentum. They went from trailing 2-0 to cutting it to 2-1, equalising it 2 each. And now, their president, who is he? Who's going to step up?
Elin Kanger, can he score? He can't score! I can't believe it. He can't believe it. We can't believe it.
Speak for yourself. Oktay Kazan equal to the effort, and Türkiye have stemmed the tide in the nick of time.
Well, it just shows, just when we were thinking of now Colombia turning the game on its head, Türkiye make the save, and it's 2-2. Now momentum with Türkiye.
Potentially, yes, indeed, because Türkiye, they haven't taken their presidential penalty yet, have they?
They haven't taken a presidential penalty, but they had their shootout, of course.
They did,
yeah.
of course, yeah,
They
with
had their
Sozer,
shootout.
Memos Sozer, that's right, absolutely.
They had their shootout, so which is obviously different to a presidential penalty. They obviously deferred it to one of their players.
Here he is on the
yeah.
ball, Memos Sozer, the scorer of that second goal. That had given Türkiye a healthy lead, but now it's 2 each after Colombia made the most of things with Alejandro Ortega scoring the beauty, with Denilson Lobon scoring. This is to make it 3-2, and Ortega nearly had his second. That was a much easier finish than the one he pinged in from distance.
Oh, this game really has burst into life, and the atmosphere is red hot here. It is electric inside the Vismara.
And Thomas, dare I say it, we're almost at the 36-minute mark as we see that missed chance from Alejandro Ortega. If 2 minutes go by without any further score, we're going to have a golden goal scenario.
I love the
because
golden
there's
goal.
nothing to choose between the teams.
Reminds me of my
Memos
childhood.
Sozer, lovely ball out wide for Swat. He's so mobile, he's so quick across the ground. Memos Sozer again, the skipper.
Oh, he's fabulous. I love those kind of players. That low centre of gravity, checking inside. Just trying to find space for the shot. Already have had one golden goal in this Kings World Cup Nations.
Jabarov.
Yeah, exactly. Cult figure for Uzbekistan. The Unwanted Boys, as they're known via their YouTube channel. Check it out, and make sure you check out Ukraine against Morocco shortly. Morocco fans are already here inside the ground. They've warmed up their voices. But first, who's going to win between Türkiye and Colombia? It is delicately poised.
And Morocco with those two superstar players in the Kings League movement. We're going to see them in action. They were underwhelming in their debut match against the Colombians, but they have a chance to shine in front of their partisan, what is essentially a home crowd now. Italy out, the Moroccans have taken over. But in order to stay in the competition, they need to win later on. But before that, who's going to win between Türkiye and Colombia? Which team is going to be in the draw for the quarterfinals? An important distinction made by my colleague Thomas Lawrence earlier on. Yes, with the last chance, we know the specific route in the bracket. When it comes to the quarterfinals, there's a straight draw, so it could be...
On Monday, Patrick, just to shout out, on Monday, 6th of January, that draw will take place.
Yeah, you and Simon Harding will have your eyes peeled for the possible...
I know you'll be following from
permutations. I will be. Shooting chance maybe here for Colombia. Instead, they don't quite feed it through, and Türkiye, if they can keep it in play, they can. It's a 1v1 situation. But now the yellow shirts come back en masse to keep him quiet. Türkiye losing out. The ball has ricocheted out for a goal kick. And Thomas, we are about 5 seconds away now from a golden goal scenario. Old school, baby.
Shot comes in from distance, and it is disappointing. We could also, Patrick, should there not be a golden goal, have our first shootout here at the Kings World Cup Nations, which would be not a traditional penalty shootout as we see it in traditional football, but shootouts.
Right, the golden goal, as you can see. In the meantime, we'll let you hear from the Colombian and Turkish camps.
¿Eso qué significa? Significa que el que meta gol gana.
Y hoy le dije que en una final lo vamos a ganar ahora, no quiero a los chutados. Vamos a ir agresivos. Vamos igual que estábamos, pero a la hora que nos superan, volvemos al 4-2. Julio, vas tú, Baguti, y por izquierda vas tú, Ángelo. Y tú, y... no, que vaya la fiera. Y vas tú y él adelante, que no están haciendo bien los recorridos. Pero vas con izquierda con todo. Escuchen un poquito. Vamos a tratar de ir a presionarlo, pero si nos superan, volvemos al 4-2. ¿Va?
Birisi duruyor burada. Birisi duruyor. Bir dakika şimdi.
And the countdown begins then. That's our cue to get talking again as well and get back on the mic.
It is, Thomas, and personally, you know, I like to give you my own experience of Kings League. It's still very new to me, day 2 of casting here, and what a huge privilege it is to be here at Vismara in Milan for the Kings World Cup Nations, the inaugural edition. We are trailblazers in that respect, following on from the fine work done by Gerard Piqué and all of the casters all over the globe in recent years, last 2 years or so. Turkey trying to get first to the ball, and Colombia win the back heel, and they're in possession. But this is my first taste of golden goal. and it's immediately we get an insight into what the approach might be. Colombia win a corner. I was wondering, do the teams play it safe, as we often see in extra time in 11-a-side football? Okay, we'll back ourselves in penalties. No, Colombia think we want to put this game to bed. Maybe because they were staring defeat in the face. They were 2-0 down to Türkiye. Can they score 3 without reply? They can indeed! And who it is? Of course, Alejandro Ortega, the scorer of the first goal, which was a beauty. This was all about quick thinking, and it took just 30 seconds of the golden goal period for the Colombians to snatch victory.
Smiles, laughter, hugs, even tears there from the Colombians. This has to be one of the greatest turnarounds we have ever seen in Kings League football, certainly in the Kings World Cup Nations, and going through with a golden goal, it just makes it all that much sweeter.
It does. Golden goal can be very cruel if you're on the losing side, but there can be no better feeling in terms of how to win. It's emotional for the president, it's hugely emotional for the players, and there is the greatest feeling in the world is scoring a goal. This one has that little bit extra because it means that Colombia have won the game with that goal from Ortega. He scored the first, he got the third. In between, Danielson scored that penalty. A recap of how he did it, latching onto that corner, driving it in at the near post. It means Colombia have 2 wins from 2. They're through to the quarterfinals. They don't have to play again. Türkiye will be through to the last chance section, and Thomas will recap the rest of the bracket.
Absolutely. So, Türkiye do have another opportunity. They'll be taking on Spain, but at the moment, the headlines, the limelight is all on Colombia and their keeper as well, Camilo, who takes the MVP prize, richly deserved. But it's at the other end where his teammates did the damage and coming from behind to stun Türkiye, who appeared to be well on the way to the win and making it back-to-back wins, joining the likes of Argentina and Brazil already in the final 8. Instead, it's going to be Colombia. And there, the Colombia streamers, the Colombia presence also joining in with the celebrations. The Cafeteros, pride, Colombian pride here. And the flag is out as well. A proud footballing nation. The South American side have swept aside Türkiye, and they go on. They'll be in the draw for the quarterfinals. A reminder, the draw on Monday, the 6th of January. Will Türkiye be involved? They have to get the better of Spain in that last chance match, which will be played next week. And here's some stats and facts from a pulsating match, a breathless game. What a second period. And it just shows it can leave you speechless, the Kings League. It can leave you breathless. It can leave you drained as well of all your emotions. And talking of emotions, it's all about Colombia, who march on. They join Argentina, Brazil and USA in the quarterfinals. As for Türkiye, they'll take on Spain. But let's look back now at the match between Türkiye and Colombia, one of the greatest turnarounds we've ever seen.